Hey everyone, it's Allie and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a Middle Eastern haul for you guys. I have 5 fragrances that I want to talk about. It has taken me a while to get back on here. I am so sorry. As you can probably tell, I have finally moved. I finally moved into the house. I'm in my new place. I'm getting settled in. Me and the puppers we've been taking it easy for the last couple weeks. It's been a heavy move. It's been a lot. Granted, I didn't have to go very far, but it was definitely not easy getting all the furniture in the house and moving. But I'm glad that it's all done. But yeah, since then, I've been sort of just like hanging around, sort of reviewing more fragrances. And I actually have 5 that I want to talk about today that I've been playing with for a while and sort of getting my thoughts on that I really want to talk to you guys about. With the first 2 being 2 that were sent to me as part of PR, so full disclosure, they were sent to me. And the first 2 are the ones that we're going to be talking about today. Starting with the very first one, this was sent to me by the Riffs Parfums company, and it is a Middle Eastern brand, and this one is called Ajwa. And the bottle looks like this. It is a beautiful sort of velvety red bottle with this sort of like gold embellishment and then a gold cap. The cap is plastic. It looks like this. And yeah, it has this sort of velvety feel all throughout the sides. And it's like this really bluish red, sort of deep, like this would make a gorgeous lipstick color. Sort of red bottle, really, really pretty. I really like the feel. I don't know why I like the velvet feel of bottles. Sometimes I think it's kind of tacky, but sometimes I just really enjoy it. And I feel like it works really well with this bottle, the shape and everything. Really like that. I like that it's a glass bottle. It's nice and heavy. The cap, like I said, is plastic, so it's very light. But what does this smell like? You have notes of pear, rhubarb, black currant, tuberose, orange flower, rose, sandalwood, hazelnut, and woody notes in the base. And to me, this smells just like a hyacinth, almost lemonade, or like a floral lemonade. Honestly, what this reminds me of a lot is a fragrance from Astaf, and it is the Princess of Arabia one. If you're familiar with this fragrance, this smells almost identical to it, except I would say this one is a bit more floral and a tiny bit deeper, where this is a lot more fresh and more zingy and refreshing. If I'm honest, I kind of enjoyed this one a bit more in the high heat. So I think this one would be really, really good for high heat. Not to say that you can't wear this one in high heat, because this is quite refreshing too. I think that the main difference between this one and this one is that this one is a lot fresher, more zingy, refreshing, a little bit more watery. But primarily what I get with this fragrance is a very juicy, watery, floral, refreshing fragrance that reminds me of like a lemonade, but a really fruity floral lemonade, almost like you did like a not hyacinth lemonade. What was I thinking? Lilac lemonade. That's what I was thinking of. Lilac lemonade. It almost reminds me of like lilac lemonade, but more refreshing and juicy because of that really refreshing pear and that crisp rhubarb note. That rhubarb really gives it this sort of crisp feel that is just really, really juicy, really, really refreshing. It kind of has like a cooling sensation when you wear this fragrance. It's very uplifting. It's kind of a mood boosting fragrance. If you are familiar with this one, then you're probably really gonna enjoy this DNA. This is just a slightly more refreshing DNA than this one. But they both last about the same amount of time, which is pretty long. I find that this one lasts about 6 to 7 hours on my skin. Same with this one. It's pretty long lasting, but I really do enjoy the Riffs version because it's a lot more refreshing, and this performs beautifully in high heat. Like if you want a very compliment getting like attractive fragrance for summertime, I would definitely look into something like this one. And if you owned the other one, the Amarat Al Arab, but wanted something maybe slightly more refreshing, then do yourself a favor and check this one out. But honestly, if you own this one, you probably wouldn't need this one. But if you were gonna pick one of the 2, I probably would go with this one just because it is more refreshing, and I kind of like the bottle a little bit more with this one. I did like the bottle with this one too. It's got that same velvety feel, but it's like a darker red. It's very, very dark, kind of gothic-y. This one feels a bit more like bright, and yeah, it kind of matches the vibe. This one's a little bit more dense and floral, And this one is a bit more lively. And they're both red bottles, but this is like the darker version and this is like a slightly lighter version, but they both last the same amount of time. And that is the first one from Riffs Parfums. The second one from Riffs Parfums is called I'm gonna butcher this. Ana Al Awal. Ana Al Awal. I think it's called like Golden Woman. And it looks like this. It's got this really pretty cap. It's got like crystals on the top and like crystals throughout it. And I really like the like side detailing, the sort of textured feel. I don't know why, I just like the sort of feel of it. But another glass bottle. Now this one has fruity notes, bergamot, lily of the valley, vanilla, and musk. And I will say out of the two, I much prefer Ajwa a lot. This style of DNA, this type of fragrance is right up my alley, especially during high heat and summertime. This one is very similar to Ebra Pura by Xerjoff. If you're a fan of that DNA, this is very comparable to that DNA. I would almost say it's a clone of it, except that this one isn't as astringent, I feel like, as Ebra Pura can be. I feel like Ebra Pura has this really intense woodiness to it that sort of it's a lot for my nose to take in. This one is a lot more bearable. I still feel like it has some sort of woody, musky backbone, but the woods aren't like in my face at all. It's not at all like astringent. I find Ebra Pura to be a very challenging DNA for me to wear personally. I know a lot of people love it, especially in summertime. It's like some people's like top 3 fragrances for life. I'm not one of those people. Don't come for me just because I'm not the biggest fan of that DNA. But if you are a fan, this is a really good option. And honestly, like this option isn't as aggressive to my nose as the original Ebra Pura. So if you've been wanting to try that fragrance and you want something that is gonna be a bit more personable, a bit more crowd pleasing, I think this is a really good one. It's very fruity, very musky, very refreshing. You definitely get those fruits. You definitely get that burst of Lily of the Valley. It's very uplifting, very juicy, very candied-like, with a heaping dose of vanilla and that really beautiful musk. Honestly, I would probably wear this opposed to Ebra Pura because I find this one to be a lot more wearable. And I've tried other like clones of Ebra Pura and I've always struggled with wearing them, to the point that every time I get like a new take on it, I always have to give it away. This one's actually quite nice. Like I was pretty surprised with this one, with the fact that like it really didn't bother me. I'm still not the biggest fan of the Ebra Pura DNA, but I do like that this one is a lot more wearable and it's not as challenging. Not that it's like the most challenging DNA ever. Obviously a lot of people really love it, but for me personally, I just couldn't handle it. This one's a really good one. This one is nuclear on skin. You will smell this all day. It's like 8+ hours, especially if you spray it on clothes. This lasts and it creates a really beautiful sillage trail behind you. If you want something that is long lasting, some bang for your buck, Riffs Ana Al Awal is a really good option, and I kind of really like the bottle. I like this textured look. It's really, really, I don't know, it's just, for me, sensory. Like, I love this sensory feel. Now, those two, like I said, were sent to me. The rest of these I bought myself. The first one we're going to talk about is one from Fragrance World, and this one is called Lush Cherry. It looks like this. If you cannot tell what it's trying to dupe, it is trying to dupe a Tom Ford bottle, and it is duping Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. This is a beautiful take on that DNA. You've got black cherry liqueur in this. You've got bitter almond, Turkish rose, jasmine, Peru balsam, tonka beans, sandalwood, vetiver, cedar. And this reminds me of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. I haven't owned Tom Ford's Lost Cherry in a hot minute. I used to have it in my collection before I got divorced, and this reminds me so much of it. I will say though that the only issue I really struggled with this one was the longevity. I found that when I first got this one, especially, the longevity just wasn't there. I felt like I would put it on and within an hour, I couldn't smell it anymore. So this one does have a bit of a longevity issue, but I feel like the longer it has sat in my collection, the more it's macerated and the better it's actually gotten. Now I can smell it for like about 3 hours or so, opposed to the 1 hour before. I think the longer it sits, the better it's gonna get. But man, this is beautiful. You definitely get that dark black cherry liqueur sort of vibe. It's very like smooth. It reminds me of Di Serono, but a very sweetened version of Di Serono. You get this really smooth nuttiness from that almond feel and just this beautiful floral backbone in the back. And it's very resinousy and like sweet because of that tonka. Oh my gosh. And it sits on a very beautiful woody base. I primarily get mostly the cedar wood with a hint of the sandalwood. But that cedar wood in this is so smooth, so creamy, and it plays so beautifully with this black cherry liqueur vibe. It is absolutely phenomenal. The only thing I wish is that this one lasted longer. If this one lasted longer, I would immediately be like, this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. You just need to go and buy it. But honestly, for the price point, it was under $20. I honestly don't mind respraying it just because that opening always hits every single time. Every time I spray this on, that opening is just so incredibly juicy and beautiful. And it just puts a smile on my face. Like, it is totally the Tom Ford Lost Cherry DNA. And if you don't mind having this one in your collection while it macerates, then do yourself a favor and get this one. I honestly do think it's worth it for the price. I think I paid like at the time $15 for it. Very affordable. And like I said, if you don't mind letting it macerate for a minute, it does get better with time. It does get stronger. It will last longer. Right now, as it stands, like I said, it's probably between 3 and 4 hours that it lasts on my skin. So if you don't mind respraying, honestly, it's not a bad deal, especially for the price. And honestly, like, this smells really expensive. This smells almost near identical to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Absolutely beautiful. Stunning, stunning fragrance. I cannot recommend this one enough. If you don't mind the maceration period with this one, because it will definitely need it. It will be very fleeting on skin when you first get it. You definitely have to let this one sit a while. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about is another one from the house of Maison Alhambra. Y'all know I have been obsessed with Maison Alhambra lately. It's one of my favorite Middle Eastern like houses. I think they are coming out with some of the most amazing fragrances and bottles and just everything. This one is called Filos Rosso. And again, this has a red bottle, kind of like this one. It's that same color red, that like bluish red or blue-based red that I really like. This would make a great lipstick color. But it's that beautiful red, and it's also velvety too, just like the Ajwa bottle, which I really like. Like, it's working for me. I think it looks really cute. The cap is kind of weird looking, but honestly, I don't mind it. I really like the presentation. I feel like it looks pretty expensive, but that's just my opinion. You've got notes of rose, saffron, cedar, patchouli, tobacco, vanilla, and musk. And when I smelt this, at first I was reminded of Baccarat Rouge 540, but not just Baccarat Rouge 540, but Baccarat Rouge 540, the X-straight version. So the deeper, more intense version that's a lot more woodier. This gives me that. This smells so dang good. I love Baccarat Rouge 540, the X-straight. And if you wanted to try it out, or you wanted a good dupe, I think this is a pretty good dupe. I wouldn't say it's exact, but I think it's close enough that like you could totally get away with wearing this one as a good dupe. This is beautiful. It is deep, it is rich, it's very woody, but man, it is like a candied wood and it just smells so incredibly beautiful. It has that sparkling quality that Baccarat Rouge 540 is known for, but it's just a lot deeper, it's more dense. And like I said, it's far woodier than the original 540. That one is like very airy and has this sort of ozonic thing going on. This doesn't have that ozonic like airy vibe. This is dense, this is candied wood. It is really beautiful, but man, this is amazing. And what's great about this fragrance is that it's an amazing layering fragrance. If you love layering fragrances and you wanted something that was sweet and woody, this would honestly pair with a lot of amazing DNAs. If you own Delina, spray this as the base for Delina and then top it. Man, that is a compliment getter that you will, or if you have a Delina clone, spray this as the base and then spray Delina on top of it. Holy guacamole. That is probably one of the most complimented like spraying combos I've ever like done. Every time I've done that like combo, I've always gotten like compliments of the wazoo. I miss having the X-Straight in my collection, so I'm very happy to have this because I think it is pretty comparable. And I think that like honestly, like this is for the price point, like heck yeah, I think I paid like 20 bucks for this one. So it's a very affordable, very long lasting, nuclear on skin, nuclear on clothes. If you want something to last all day on you, do yourself a favor and look into Filos Rosso because it is a gorgeous take, I feel like, on the DNA of Baccarat Rouge 540, the X-Straight. Do yourself a favor and get your nose on this one. If you are a lover of woody fragrances too, this is a gorgeous, sweet, woody fragrance. Easily unisex, anyone can wear this one. Lush Cherry, unisex as well. Ajwa, I would say, is a lot more feminine. Ana Awal is, I want to say, more unisex. But this one, easily unisex. Gorgeous fragrance. I really like it, and I'm really glad I have it in my collection. Now, the last one that we're going to be talking about for this haul is one from Ardalan, and this one is called Crystallite Black Crystal. I mean, just look at the bottle. If you don't know what it's duping, come on, it's pretty obvious. It's duping Versace Crystal Noir, which is a fragrance that has a huge cult following. And for good reason. It's a really gorgeous DNA. If you are a fan of that rich, dark, floral, vanilla, that has a slight clean essence to it that, you know, Versace Crystal Noir is known for, then you're really going to enjoy this. I think this is a great dupe for Versace Crystal Noir, but for a fraction of the price. Again, I paid under $20 for this one. What a steal. It lasts the same. It smells the same. I couldn't be happier about this purchase. I mean, you've got notes of bergamot, blackcurrant, jasmine, rose, patchouli, vanilla, and musk. And you guys, this smells just like Versace Crystal Noir. Except I will say this one is slightly a little bit more soapier because Crystal Noir has this soapy sort of white floral thing going on in it. I definitely get a lot of the jasmine in Versace Crystal Noir, and I get a lot of jasmine in this, but it is a clean, soapy white floral that's sort of darkened up by that patchouli and vanilla and musk. It is so clean, it is so fresh, but it has that slight darkness to it that makes it really unique and interesting. You have a lot of this like light and dark playing with this fragrance. Like it has elements of light and it has elements of dark, and somehow they coincide together so beautifully to create this slightly clean, soapy, floral, dark feel that just smells so expensive and so luxe and so beautiful. This is so compliment getting. If you are a fan of that DNA and you wanted something that was a bit more affordable, then do yourself a favor. This is a 10 out of 10. It honestly projects and lasts the exact same as Versace Crystal Noir. This lasts on me pretty much 6 to 7 hours. And it smells, like I said, the same. It's near identical. Nobody's gonna know the difference between Versace Crystal Noir and this one right here. If you want something that's comparable to that fragrance, then do yourself a favor and check out this one by Ardalan. I think they did a fabulous job with this one. It is phenomenal. And I'm really happy to have this one in my collection. This is another 10 out of 10. I highly recommend checking this one out. If you want something that's gonna smell just like Versace Crystal Noir, this one. I mean, the bottle looks the same. I mean, it's like the same thing, you guys. Just get this one. Save you some coin. 20 bucks. Exact same DNA. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative. I have another Middle Eastern haul coming to you guys real soon. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll probably have that video out next week sometime. Till next time, you guys, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.